someone left a comment on a post I made this morning that impacted me in a way that I thought I want to talk to you about, okay? Because I know a lot of people go through the same thing. It's a very negative comment, and it's one, of course, that I read and went, okay, I get it. Yeah, that's a pretty impactful thing to think about. And of course, what they've done is they've just highlighted one of my own fears about a product I'm releasing soon, which is my course. Like, maybe no one will buy it, maybe no one will come on that course. It's a valid thing. I want to talk to you about it. I want to talk to you about why it impacts me. I'll obviously talk to you about what was actually said, and then I'd ask if you want to put a comment down there about how you feel about this, because it's more mainstream than we realize. It's happening to a lot of people. And the one thing I will say before I start is, if you are doing anything of value in life at all, you're probably going to get some negative comments. A lot of it is about you leaving people behind. You know, they feel if you're losing weight, or if you're lifting weights and you're looking better, people always think that you're leaving them behind. Of course, that's not the case. If anything, you're bringing people with you or setting that example. And God, we need standards right now, especially in the UK. We need upholding of standards. We really do. So what happened? I was in my gym, which is just in front of me here in my garage. I'm in my car pointing at my garage. Came out this morning, did my normal lifting session. It's not massive, guys. It's not massive at all. I'm almost 50. I'm 50 this year. And to be fair, I'm not lifting hugely, but I'm lifting enough to get the blood flowing and everything else. And I was watching some videos, as I normally do when I am doing that, and one of the videos said, hey, use the community tab on YouTube because you get a lot more engagement. I don't think that's necessarily true, but I did get engagement from the post I put out, and it was me in front of my bench pretty much, and the King Richard I flag, and it just said, hey, I'm just working out how I'm going to use this app as part of my spin recovery program, which is a program that helps people, especially men, going through transitional times, such as midlife crisis, if you want to call that. It doesn't matter what you want to call it, but either way, that's what my program is for. I've run it before, but it was very high ticket back in the day. I ran it back in about 2020, and it was about £2,000 a person. And I want to lower that cost down, and I want to lower the impact that it has on me personally as well. I want to really lower that if I can. So I'm really trying to keep the cost down. As part of that, if people do want to start moving more, there is an additional app that you can basically, it's free. It's free. You know, I pay for it. Obviously, I subscribe to it. And it's free for people. I write a program on them and we get them moving, such as I've found so beneficial. After I left the Air Force, of course, went through suicidal ideation, alcoholism, and all that kind of stuff, and aspects of depression, I guess. So that helped me by moving quite a lot. Anyway, I did get a response to it, and the guy responding kind of made me feel a bit kind of like negative. And I want to talk to you about that negativity now. So the guy wrote, first off, 3 parts of the post, really. First off, he said, I didn't realize how poor pilots were, which is a bit of a dig, isn't it? Like, wow, pilots aren't really getting paid anything. And of course, I'm not a pilot now, but when I was in the Air Force, yeah, the pay wasn't brilliant. And then he said, second thing, he said that he was a millionaire multi times over. So he invested in Bitcoin, must have been back in the mid 2010s, I guess, and bought Bitcoin, I guess, at 1,200 or something. It's now, I don't know what it's worth now. I don't do Bitcoin. He's worth like 15 million now. So then he tells me obviously how wealthy he is, and then he tells me why the thing I'm doing won't work. In the trade, we call this a bitch comment. There's no value to it. There's nothing he's offered of value within that comment. It's only ever designed to bring something down. In fact, there's another comment where someone says something about the plates I've got, which are rogue plates on a non-Olympic, but it is an Olympic bar. But you can see there was no reason for that guy to say that either. You could have said, hey, it's a nice setup. In spin, in the program I run, it's all about positivity, affirmation. That's the whole point. Self-esteem, purpose, integrity, and negativity. And we just run that through in a massive collective, really boosting people up, getting them back on their feet. And I tend to find when people first come into spin, they are also quite negative, which is why we have negativity in there. And negativity can affect us in all sorts of ways. Even when I was flying jets, putting YouTube videos out, people would have a go at me. They would just say something like that. And it will impact you. This is why I don't tend to talk on Twitter with people that don't have their own name in there, because the balance is not the same, guys. So I might be saying something, and I've got a lot of reputation, everything else, and a business that, of course, can suffer from what I say. But if there's someone called Donkey Boy 44, they haven't got anything that they can obviously bring to the table. They're not going to suffer in any way themselves. So I tend not to have those conversations unless I know someone is a genuine person. I don't have the I have the conversations. I don't have the arguments. Put it that way. So this guy wrote this, and of course I just thought about it. I thought initially, crikey, maybe this thing I'm putting out isn't going to work. Now, the app I couldn't care less about. The app, most people aren't going to use the app. The app is something that I'm funding myself. And when you come in, if you want to concentrate on physical aspects of the recovery program, then the app is something that you can have access to, absolutely, and that'll be free. That's part of the program. That's why it's there. There's a nutrition guide as well that I can really help with. And I've got people within my program that help me help people with those things, and of course they're there for that. But the app is not something. So when he's saying no one's going to pay a pilot for a $20 app when there's a Mr. Olympia and stuff like that, yeah, absolutely, I understand that. That's not what I'm there for. I'm not a physical fitness guru. But I will tell you one thing. I am a normal dude, and a guy who went through some pretty shit times when I came out in my mid-40s, and I'm still here, and I'm still helping people also still be here. That's what I'm interested in. That's where the purpose comes in. That's what spin is about. That's what the course is about. It's keeping you alive, stopping you hanging yourself. And the original spin, the actual course itself, was half the price of a UK funeral. A UK funeral was about £3,600. I set the spin course, I think $1,850, something like that. And that's because you either give that money to your wife and she's going to bury you when you hang yourself, or you gave it to me and I gave you 12 weeks of my time and we took you through a pretty full-on process. The process was pretty much too full-on, and of course it impacted me as well, dealing a one-on-one with all these men having issues. So I wanted to do that in a different way this time, and that's why I'm doing it. So I wanted to kind of get out that I'm bringing this course online, and I've got this other thing to it. And of course, you kind of would expect people to celebrate that a little bit. You know, I understand that. But again, one thing I want to iterate to people, that if you're losing weight or you're building muscle or you've got a great job or you just bought yourself a nice car or something like that, you're going to get people hating on you. And you have to understand that when you, and hit the comments if you've experienced this yourself, if you, I mean, there's no reacting to these people. They're negative through and through. And this is my worry with this young man here, 33 years old, is that he's very wealthy at a very early age. And I know the damage that does to people. And if someone said to me, Tim, do you want 20 million pounds? I still have to be doing something with that money. Like, I'd have to have that 20 million pounds and I'd be able to do repairs to the house and everything else. But who do you go and holiday with? Who else has 20 million pounds to holiday with? I mean, you'd have that imbalance, and it really causes you a huge amount of problems when you, obviously, you know, with your life. So purpose is important. And you are going to get negativity no matter what you do. If you are progressing forward, if you are making some kind of tangible change in your life, you will get people, and some of that is going to be from the closest people to you. I was chatting to my brother a few months back, I guess. He's an airline pilot over in the Middle East, doing really well for himself. Good man, you know what I'm saying? About 5 years younger than me. And we get on like brothers get on. Sometimes we fight, you know how it is. Both ex-Air Force pilots ourselves. He was a Hercules guy, and I was a Tornado and a Hawk guy. So, you know, both at the same time. It's pretty cool, actually, to be fair. Two brothers in the Royal Air Force together. But he said to me, we're talking about his job, and he said, at some point, I'm really going to have to, you know, work out what you do. And I kind of thought about that after the conversation. It's a pretty harsh thing to say, really. It's like, I don't really care what you do. I'm probably going to ask you at some point. Now, he may not have meant it like that. He may have had a couple of beers in him. I don't know. But that's going to happen. When you're doing something people don't understand, if you're making money at home or you're online or you have your own business, I know a lot of small business owners, and this anxiety kind of plagues them. Like, are customers going to turn up? Am I going to be able to expand this business? When it's just you, it's really hard. If you've got your own business, hit the comments and tell me what your biggest fears are. And the reason I say that is because I've got fears about it as well. You know what I mean? I run my flight school. But again, it gets to the point where we're all working hard together. I've got capacity to bring people in. It's great. And the reason I'm doing spin is a lot of people contact me. Tim, I really want to move forwards, especially in my mid-40s, early 50s. But I'm not interested in flying a video game. And I'm like, yeah, I got that. I've got nothing for you. But now I will have, from the 1st of June, I will have a program for them, which is cool. So they can get in there and make some real tangible change. But if you've got a business and it's something stopping you moving forward, you know, what is that anxiety? Hit the comments there, because I learn from those. I learn a lot. So I'm not having to go at the young man. It might seem like that, but I'm not. I'm not making a fitness app as a pilot. I couldn't care less about that. I couldn't care less. There's so much on YouTube that you can go and look at and read. I mean, there are people that know so much more about it than me. I don't know more about it. What I do know is about not killing yourself. I know about that. I know a lot about that. And I know about putting your best foot forwards, even when it's hard, every single day. And I know about going to the gym when you don't want to go to the gym. I know how to do that really, really well. I know how to eat healthily when you really don't want to eat healthily. I know how to do that as well. I know how to do that. I know how to pick yourself up. And I've got some superb top tips about how to do this, guys. And that's what the program is about. So I'm not selling anything to you, don't get me wrong. And this is probably not for a lot of people out there. the community, everything in that community is probably not what a lot of people here actually need. I'll put a video out soon, but I kind of wanted also to offload this feeling I have, because I'm not immune to these personal attacks like this. And the guy may have just thrown out a comment. I still have that insecurity and that anxiety. Like, have I built a product here? Is the community good enough to now be out there and people to come in? And, you know, am I going to be able to satisfy these people's desires? I mean, I was part of a program for 3 months, 2 years ago, that was costing, I think it was like $600 a month. Dollars, not pounds. Although they're about the same now, isn't it? And it wasn't giving as much as my program's giving for, I think, £100. It wasn't giving that much. And that's why I've added things on like this app and stuff like this, which you can have in your pocket. Like, you know, it's all there. But I'm interested, guys. I don't want to be delicate about it. But, you know, it kind of spiked me a little bit, because I think, you know, I do realize as well that things like that will spike you when you are vulnerable. You're in that vulnerable space, about to launch a new product. You're about to enter a new job. You have been losing weight for a period of time, and people say things to you, and of course you're gonna take that to heart, especially if you're working a lot. I mean, I was just finishing a workout, so I was pretty knackered anyway. So look, I just want to get that across. You're not alone if you are feeling like this. Guys like me, I feel like it as well. You know, if you're getting negative comments about how you look or what you're doing, you got to understand a lot of that is more about the person giving you that comment than anything else. A lot of it's called projection. Go and look it up, psychology. I really appreciate it, guys. Wishing you all the best, by the way. There's a lot of people out there writing to me at the moment. It's difficult times. Really difficult times. I get it. And I don't want these videos to come out and be negative, me complaining about the country and stuff like this. That's not what I'm about. You know that. But we're attracted to negative videos. So I just thought I'd make one, not to attract you to it, but just to try and explain that even, you know, I get these negative comments. I get a lot of them the whole time. And you just have to regroup. Get yourself outside in the rain, do some burpees, whatever. Recognize the fact it's not about you, because you're doing something positive with your lives. You are doing something positive with your lives, all right? And 110%, if you're getting negative comments, that's exactly why. I really appreciate it, guys. Talk soon.